Hey, what's going on? It's Quinn David Furness. Welcome to my show, Quinn David Furness Presents the Beantown Podcast for Sunday, July 12th, 2020. What's going on? How are you? My name is Quinn. This is my show. This is my voice. I'm the showrunner, producer, set designer. Wow, what a set it is. This is, of course, an audio-only cast today. I just decided I didn't really have too much to say, and I wasn't too much to look at. I need to shower. But I put a shirt on, even though there's no video option. So consider yourself lucky. Yeah, no camera this week. Maybe next week. I don't know. You know, it's kind of like, and, you know, we've had 2 video casts so far. So you can tell us, email us, beantownpodcast@yahoo.com. Again, it's beantownpodcast@yahoo.com. Tell us, if you like looking at it. I just can't imagine, it's one thing to listen to a podcast for 45 minutes, whatever our show links have been recently, but, it might be nice to see me, I guess, but there's never anything interesting going on, right? I'm just sitting here on the couch. Whether you can see me or not, I promise that's what's going on. And, I'm not crazy enough to do any wild editing of any kind. I suppose I could, go through and, put in fun images or sound effects. We've done some sound effects in the past, not necessarily through GarageBand, but we had one episode with the Stacey King soundboard, which didn't even really relate to anything we were talking about. It was just there. But, I just feel like it takes a lot of time, especially on my old Mac, trying to do it from the retirement home practically. So, yeah, audio only today, and I think that's okay. Speaking of set design, though, we had a fun new addition to the apartment that got delivered yesterday, and I am trying it out for the first time right now. I don't think you can hear it. I did a little audio test before we actually started recording to make sure everything was going to be okay with it. I'm pretty sure you can't really notice it. Maybe if you really are using headphones and pump up the volume. But I got a foot bath, a foot massaging bath of sorts. Bought it online. Never had one before. It's pretty simple. It's got, some little rollers in the bottom of it. And it's got trifecta bubble action. And I put some Epsom salt in there that I've had for like 4 years. It's a treat, My feet aren't even like sore or necessarily in need of a massage. It just seemed like a fun thing to have. In fact, I've been talking about getting one of these, not for a while, but just like I was having a conversation with someone. I don't know if it was my brother or who it was, but about how I would love to have a foot bath to just take out onto the porch in the summer and sit out there and sip a cool beverage and get the deluxe spa treatment. Well, the only cool beverage we've got here is water. But the foot bath is kind of cool. I didn't splurge for the triple deluxe model, the P3000. I got the intermediate version. But it's nice. It's got some kind of a couple like roly-poly things on the bottom for your feet. And it's got vibration action, and it's got bubble action. It can be anywhere from 95 degrees up to it's like 110, 115, something like that. So it's just kind of nice to have, I figure it will do all sorts of perforating and exfoliating and mitosis and reverse osmosis into the, cuts and pores and calluses and dead skin cells on my feet and all that good stuff. Been running a lot lately. So, you gotta You got to treat your feet sometimes. Treat your feet. I'm going to be honest with you. 5.5 minutes into this week's podcast, and that was like the centerpiece of discussion. The new foot bath, the foot massager. I don't really have anything else. In fact, I almost feel like, I don't know what if Rachel spiked the coffee or something this morning. I honestly, I have no idea why, but I honestly almost feel like I just had an edible or something. I just feel very like tranquil, at peace, relaxed. My heart rate is coming in at a hot, let's see. Let's break out the stopwatch. I'll tell you what you take it for 15 seconds, multiply by 4. I'll tell you live on air. This week on the Beantown podcast, Quinn checks his heart rate. Wow. Must see television. All right, hang on. Let's do this right here. All right, so I'm going to you start the stopwatch, goes to 15, you count how many beats, then you multiply by 4, and that's your heart rate. All right, let me make sure I got my pulse here. I'm like Richard Simmons and Sweating to the Oldies. Check your pulse, check your pulse. Kind of sounded like Louis Anderson. I guess they have kind of similar voices. All right. Here we go. It's going to be some dead air for 15 seconds, okay? Bear with us. All right. We're sitting at a cool 40 beats per minute right now with the foot bath going. But yeah, that's the thing. Even when I was like riding the bus from Rachel's place back up to Rogers Park, and I got groceries, and now I'm here doing this podcast. It's about midday. It's about 12:45 p.m. Gonna watch the NASCAR race later. Maybe if it ends at a solid time, go out by the lake. We'll see. But I'm just like, and I haven't been high very often in my life. I'm thinking like twice, both off of edibles. But it honestly feels like someone like threw an edible into my coffee this morning. I don't know what it is. It's a great way to feel. Nice to have that Sunday relaxation going. I was even worried because I was getting work emails this morning, which is not a normal thing. I do not normally get work emails on a Sunday morning. But I was concerned that might, things might go a different way. But no, I feel good right now, I think what really helps is the fact that it is a beautiful day out and not... this week in Chicago has been really toasty. Like, the feels like it's been hovering around 100 during the day, most of the days. But today we're talking like mid-70s and breezy and kind of sun poking in and out of the clouds. It might not be perfect beach weather, but I tell you what, it is great weather for those of us that don't have air conditioning. Sitting on the couch, Craig's couch, sipping some water, getting my feet pulsated and porated and aerated by this deluxe new foot bath. We'll see. We'll see what kind of results I get. My feet been running 30 to 40 miles a week for about probably about 3 months straight now. Haven't missed a day. My running routine Monday through Thursday shorter runs, which when I was just getting into this routine back in March was, 3 miles, 4 miles if I was pushing it. And now, this past week for the first time, which was always my goal, I got to 10K a day, Monday through Thursday. And it was hot. It was very sweaty. I did not run with a shirt once this week. And then a longer run on yesterday. I ran a half marathon. But over the course of this training routine, as any serious runner knows, your feet go through different phases regarding calluses and blisters and dead skin and all that stuff. So every week is something different. I haven't had any new blisters in the past maybe 2 months or so. I still got, they're not really blisters anymore, but just remnants where they used to be. But, they're not painful or anything, which is good. Whole lot of calluses and a lot of dead skin. My point being, we'll see how this foot bath does with handling all of that. We'll see. TBD. So what's going on? It's kind of midsummer. Went to a patio twice this week. Wore my face mask. But, just trying to... I wouldn't even say I'm trying to, be social at this point, because I'm not. Just trying to, maintain friendships, relationships, etc. It's hard. A lot of my friends have moved on into the return to normalcy phase, and they're not all doing the face mask thing, which shouldn't even be a thing at this point. It should just be the expectation. But taking vacations, going out to bars, going on dates. And I don't know, I'm just not, I'm not feeling that quite yet, especially the indoor space. I was nervous yesterday, so we go to this back beer patio, and it was an outdoor space, in quotation marks. The whole thing is covered, and, you're not getting any airflow. You're walled in. But we were, for the most part, the only ones there. It still wasn't ideal, but, do your best. Anyways, just sitting here feeling kind of high. Looking at my statue of Mother Mary on the windowsill. Feels like she's about to start saying something. I got quite an eclectic windowsill going here, and I would love to keep adding to it. I have... Our full-time members right now are a statue of Mother Mary, a little one. It's maybe 6 inches tall. I found that I was walking around Baltimore one day, maybe 2 years ago or so, and there was this abandoned wheelchair from the Johns Hopkins Hospital, and I was not close to the Hopkins Hospital. I was on the northwest side of downtown, 2 miles away from the hospital. And in the wheelchair, this is a true story, and it's not a long story. In the wheelchair was a statue of Mother Mary and a copy of Zootopia. Blu-ray copy of Zootopia. I took both of them. I left the wheelchair. To this day, Zootopia is the only film I own. I have it. I'm looking at it on the shelf right now. It's right in between. Oh, you guys, this is a stream of consciousness podcast today, in case you didn't get the memo 14 minutes and 45 seconds in. But we're digging up some good stuff here. The Zootopia Blu-ray copy is the only film I own. And it's in between my book copies of Trainspotting by Irwin Welsh. Great book. If you're not familiar with Trainspotting, There's the Danny Baker. That's not his name. Danny Boyle, excuse me. I went to high school with a Danny Baker. He's about 7 feet tall. Danny Boyle film from 1996. Someone can check us on that. I'm feeling too high, too lazy. I don't know why I feel like baked, but maybe it's the foot bath combo with the nice breezy weather. I don't know. And a 40 beats per minute heart rate. Trainspotting is great. Ewan McGregor's in the movie. The book is fantastic. They're both solid. One's not better than the other. The book, tells more per usual. And then on the other side, I got my Freddie Prinze Jr. Back to the Kitchen cookbook. Wow. My friend Amy, when I graduated from grad school and was getting ready to move to Baltimore, leave Chicago back in 2017, my friend Amy gave me a Freddie Prinze Jr. cookbook and a ice tray that's like, instead of normal ice cubes, they're emoji circular faces, which I still have to this day. I just filled it up with ice this morning, like 45 minutes ago. I just learned my friend Amy is coming back to Chicago. She's starting law school here in the fall, which is like a month away, which is very exciting. So it all comes full circle on the Beantown podcast. But that's where my copy of Zootopia is. And then the other thing I got from the wheelchair is a statue of Mother Mary. Statuette is maybe a better way to put it. I don't know. What's the cutoff between a statue and a statuette? Someone's going to have to let us know. The other full-time members, currently there are 3 on my living room windowsill. I don't even know, it's like a toy, I guess. The Incredible Hulk. It's hard to describe without you being able to see it exactly like what it is. But imagine just like a plastic flat back, and then the Hulk, like half of him is like busting out of it, and there are like fake rocks attached to it as well. So it's like he's busting, through the wall. So it's not like a Hulk toy. It's like Hulk busting through the wall. Like, I don't even know if you call it a toy because you can't really play with it. It just sits there. My friend PJ gave that to me. I don't remember why. I've had it for a while though. And then our newest addition is the Duncan Keith floss holder, courtesy of Delta Dental. Rachel and I, on our, third date maybe? Second or third date, went to a Chicago Blackhawks game. One of the last games they played at the United Center before COVID hit. They beat the Edmonton Oilers. And it was the Duncan Keith floss holder giveaway. And so I have mine. Literally, like 2 weeks later, at a St. Patrick's Day party at her house, hers was stolen, which is just a really awful thing to do. I should mention, listener discretion is advised when you're listening to the Beantown podcast. Number 1, we'll occasionally tell some troubling stories of stealing Duncan Keith floss holders. Number 2, podcast is objectively terrible, and I apologize for today. I really tried my darndest to come up with something good to say. We've been on a good streak lately, but today I was just feeling like, just relax, And I got no good stories. What I was going to say is a really shitty thing to do. But speaking about stealing Duncan Keith floss holder, but what I was going to say is it's always been tough to do, a weekly Beantown podcast because my life isn't all that exciting, but it's even tougher under quarantine. The last 4 months have just been a struggle getting material. Because if you've been following our show for the full 130-plus episode run, you know that a lot of what I do is dependent on what I've been doing that week as well as where in the world I'm traveling. And lately, all I've been doing throughout the week has been working, running, eating 1 meal a day, which... we'll do a full weight loss episode later in the year or at the start of next year whenever I sort of decide I'm done with my current program, which I guess won't officially happen until I have my first drink, which could be still a little while to go here. I'll do a full episode on that. I am down between 65 and 70 pounds on the year, which is exciting. So we'll get a full episode, detailing the program, the history, the results, the challenges, and the bright spots from doing it. But 1 meal a day, that's been my vibe. And I have, but so nothing really happens during the week, and then I haven't traveled. We went to Door County a couple weekends ago. I was supposed to be in Phoenix right now, actually getting back. My flight was supposed to land in an hour from Phoenix. I was supposed to be there for a bachelor party, but I ended up not going. I did get my I did get flight credits for both of them. Frontier, surprisingly, was relatively easy. I still had the stupid Frontier. They're always like, just use the code on the website. You'll get your money back, whatever. I can never do it on the website. I always have to call them. Granted, this time I only waited on a hold for like 15 minutes before I was helped out, and it worked very smoothly. Delta, on the other hand, was a pain in the ass, and I was actually thinking like, I might just let this one go because it's like $80 or something. Yeah, it'd be nice to have, but I don't even know when I'm going to be traveling again. But I had submitted I got an email from Delta on like a week ago, like last Sunday, basically saying, hey, your flight's coming up. If your plans have changed and you need to cancel, that's fine. Just let us know. You can, cancel, modify, change your flight by clicking on this link. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to Phoenix anymore. Let me click on the link. So I do that. And it takes you, it's not like just straight up click cancel and here's your e-credit. No, it's not that simple. They make you like, even though my flight had been changed and we're still under like crazy COVID stuff, they still make you like go through and fill out like a request form. And then it has to be, reviewed and authorized by an actual human. So I do that on Monday. My Delta flight is scheduled for today, Sunday. So 6 days. Thinking that's going to be, that'll be fine. So I do that, and it goes all the way up until yesterday morning. I was sitting on the couch with Rachel after my run, and I'm like, I can log in and like view the status of my request. It's still pending. I'm like, I'm going to give this one more shot. Otherwise, I'm just going to let it go. And what's going to happen is I'm just going to miss my flight. And that'll be the end of it. No more Delta credit. So I go tweet. I tweet at him. In fact, I send him a DM. And it's like an automated message basically saying we're not doing this right now through DM. Because that's actually usually when I really need a response fast, that's usually what I do, a DM on Twitter. But they did send me a link to their live chat agent. So I do that, and I got going with Nikisha. And she was actually super helpful. We only had to chat for like 5 minutes, and she got me my e-credit. It was great. I was like, I don't know why, if we can do this boom, 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 why can't, it just be an automatic process online, trying to go get an e-credit. Long story short, I got both my my outgoing Frontier flight and my inbound Delta flight. I got the credit for them, so we're good to go there. Now, the thing is, Delta, I think I still have some time, but with Frontier, it doesn't have to happen during this time period, but I have to physically book something in the next 90 days, dated back, about a week now. So I've got 80-some days to book a $98 flight on Frontier to go somewhere. I don't know. I guess I'll look. If I can find like a $75 round trip flight to somewhere cool, I might just like do it for a weekend, throw it on there like next summer or something. Give myself something to look forward to. Because honestly, I don't think I'm flying anywhere until Christmas. Like, it's still kind of far out, But at the same time, it's only 5 months away, and it's like, I don't think I'm going anywhere. Because we're trending in the wrong direction here in the great United States of America. I still got 3 weeks of vacation to use. I reckon one of them will be a road trip of some sort in the fall. Another one, I'm just going to try to take an extended Christmas break, take a week off beforehand. Not for any reason, but just because I can. And then I'll probably just use the other 4 or 5 days, intermittently here and there for some 3-day weekends. We'll see. First world props. Let's read some ads here, and then we'll get finished up shortly. In case you're wondering, yes, I'm still in the foot bath. It feels pretty good. Pulsating and correlating and all that good stuff. Home Pride Oregon, are you tired of selling your house for less than a quarter of what it's worth, all because you couldn't find a reliable home inspector in time? Well, Oregon listeners, there's good news. Home Pride Inspection Services in Bend, Oregon is Central Oregon's hottest new home inspection provider with inspection services including things like heating and cooling, roofing, plumbing, and so much more. Home Pride Oregon is both contractor certified and home inspection certified, so you're getting the good stuff. If you're tired of big real estate stranglehold on the home inspection market and you want a safe, certified home inspector you can trust, you have to call Steve at 541-410-0316, or you can visit homeprideoregon.com. Again, that's 541-410-0316, or you can visit homeprideoregon.com. Home Pride Oregon, inspection perfection. I want to give a shout out to the Samson Q2U series. We've been locked and loaded with Samson ever since our first ever episode. In fact, there's only been a handful of episodes, maybe one, maybe two, where we have not used the Samson Q2U series to record. It's been with us from Genesis to Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, the entire Pentateuch, and even those other Jewish books that are apparently in the Hebrew Bible, but not in the Protestant Bible. Crazy stuff, man. When God speaks, he uses a Samson. We should get a guest on. I should, this doesn't relate to our ads. I should actually plan a couple days out in advance of next week's Beantown podcast and see if we could get a phone guest on. I don't know. We haven't had a caller in a while. That could be fun. Oh God, I still have written down on my ad copy. I have them all in one place, and I still have TV Guide written down. We haven't talked about that in a little while. It's still kind of a sore subject. Between the TV Guide and Jack Links, I kind of feel betrayed on this podcast. Anyways, I don't want... If I talk about it for too long, my heart rate's going to explode from 40 up to like 42. So let's just move on. Cuts by Q, bob and weave. We all know the hairstyle. We all love it. But how many Chicago-based independent barbers can actually give it to you the way you deserve? Enter Cuts by Q. It's like Enter Sandman, but different. Cuts by Q has been independently owned and operated since 1995 and is probably one of the better barbershop operations serving Chicago, Cook County, Northwest Indiana, and the greater Chicagoland area. From beehives to bangs, faux hawks to flat tops, and everything in between, you got to call Cuts by Q at 815-298-7200, or you can email cutsbyq@yahoo.com. Again, that's Cuts, Q-U-T-Z, by Q at yahoo.com. Oh, when you need a fresh do, something snappy and new, just call the experts at Cuts by Q. All right. One last thing before we go here today. I was running on Wednesday morning, the one day of the week this week where I was, well, I guess I did it yesterday too. But the one weekday this week where I was smart enough to get up early. We're talking like 6 a.m. It's not that early. And go run before it gets balls hot outside. But had an interesting, I guess, experience that probably a lot of people especially the female listeners of the show, have experienced at some point. Hopefully not too frequently. But I think I was stalked on my run on Wednesday morning, which I don't think has, to the best of my knowledge, has never happened before. But I was coming back on the last, mile and a half leg of my run is just a straight shot down a neighborhood street. And I was running north on the street, and there was a car just pulled over to the side, kind of by itself. Looked like a cop SUV kind of thing, except it was, instead of white, it was gray. But oftentimes you see those, they're like not necessarily undercover, but just like not the straightforward looking police or police cars. But as I'm running past, I see, a guy. He's not looking at me, but he's just there in the driver's seat he's a big guy wearing a tank top. So I don't think anything of it, because why should I? It's like 6:45 in the morning. So I keep running north, and I finish my run, and I do a once around the block walk for my cool down, and I'm walking back down towards my apartment on the same street, but we're about a mile further north, and I see the same car come driving down the street, going the opposite way that I'm walking. I'm like, this is really weird. I mean, it's still the same street, but like, what's he doing up here now? Whatever. And then 2 minutes later, I make the right turn onto the street that I live on, and I notice kind of out of the corner of my eye behind me, after, a couple seconds after I turn onto the street, that same car turns onto the street too, and like pulls off to the side like it's, about to park. And at this point, I don't even want to look back. I'm like, what's going on here? This is strange. So instead of going in my front door, I go walk into the alley and go into the back door. And the way he had stopped his car or parked his car, he could not see me go into my my back door entrance or enter my unit's backyard through the alley. And then when I got up into my apartment and looked out the windows, rear window style, I felt like Jimmy Stewart. The car was not there. That's the whole story. So I don't know if I was being stalked. I don't know why someone would want to. The other thing that makes me feel like it seems improbable is I have kind of a normal running route and running time, but it's at like 4:30 in the afternoon. It's not at 6:30 in the morning. So I'm kind of skeptical about whether it actually was, but it was also just kind of strange. So keep your head peeled and your ears open. You never know what's going to happen, okay? Stay safe out there. We're always saying that on this show, the Beantown Podcast, but sometimes it hits closer to home than other weeks. Otherwise, that's all I got for you. I apologize for the rambling show and apologize for not really coming with anything to say. But I thought about it. I tried to come up with something, but consider this just a Hallmark quarantine episode. I promise you, the listeners, this is the Beantown Podcast guarantee. I promise that if something interesting did happen, I would share it with you. I'm not holding out on you, okay? But maybe we'll try to get a guest next week. Maybe we'll get the video cast up and rolling for next week, and we'll see. We will see. That's the show. That's what I got for you. Short-ish this week, but that's okay, because I somehow made it 35 minutes without having anything to say, which is kind of impressive. NASCAR at Kentucky. Jimmy's back. That's exciting. Everything's going well over here. Running a lot. Continuing to diet. Not drinking. Haven't had pizza yet. Although I tell you what, man, I'm getting close on the pizza. There's just been a lot of discussion, not among me, but by people I've been around, of deep dish pizza. It's kind of following me everywhere. And so I just kind of feel like one of these days, Sundays are already my cheat days. Like, I think I'm going to have Chinese food tonight. It just sounds so effing good.
And I had a gigantic lard-ass meal last night, too. Italian beef and a gyro. Whew, yikes. So, one of these cheat days, a Sunday coming up, we're going to have some deep dish, and it's going to be glorious. Okay? I'll make sure we get that on the show when that day comes. That's what I got for you, everyone. Hope you're having a fun July. Hope it's not too hot where you are listening from. And, yeah, make sure you put on your SPF 100 and 115 if you're going out in that direct sunlight. That's what we got for you. Buy a foot bath, Strong, glowing recommendation. Feels great. Okay, that's what I have. Let's cue up some Tishomingo blues. Everyone, I hope you're having a safe and happy middle of summer. And as always, we will check in on you next week. All right, bye, everyone.